Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is The Sigma Show, episode 29. I am your host, Sigma. And before I let you know who's joining me this week, real quick, we'll just go over what our topics will be for the day. Not a super busy week, as we all know, E3 is around the corner, so I know there's probably a bunch of stuff that's being held off for that. But we have a little something to go through. First up, Borderlands 3 crossplay is coming. Very popular game, very popular feature all around the industry. But PlayStation says no, you can't play with us. So we'll go back and dive into that well as to what they could be thinking, what that could mean. And our final topic is another big media deal, whereas Amazon is basically buying MGM Films. So we'll talk about kind of what that could mean for Amazon, what that could mean for MGM. Doesn't matter at all. Who knows? We'll get into it. Here to talk with me about these things, as usual, Superman Jeff, as well as Rexicon Jesse. Glad to have you guys here. Since it is a lighter week in terms of news, I thought we could do what we tend to do early on, where we no sound from the guests. Come on.
Whenever you can hear me,
How about now?
just know that a moment before I had great jokes.
How about now? Can you hear it now?
Is that a yes?
Hear them now. Okay.
Hey.
All right. So basically, they just said hi when I introduced them. That's all you really missed.
Shh, I had great humor.
Right, exactly.
I gave away 8 Steam keys. What are you talking about?
Ooh.
Then now they're lost to the ether. They can never be used again.
Yep.
What's up, Ash? What's up, Lampy? We see you guys early in the chat. Really appreciate that. But yeah, since we don't have a ton of news, we'll start things off with what we've been playing, /watching, /listening to, /experiencing in our daily lives, etc. Who would like to go first? Who has some burning hot impressions to give?
Burning hot. That's what you sound like. That's you. I'll go. Haven't been playing a lot. I played Destiny like a lot. Was farming for some spoils of conquest, which is a currency you need to use to buy like older exotics from like past raids and past seasons. They remade the Vault of Glass. So there's a boss in there called the Templar, and when I went in, I only had 90 spoils. Now each time you beat that boss, you get 5 spoils. So I had to get to 240. So which means I wound up fighting that boss like 40 times.
So where
in
did
a
you
matter
get the first 90? Was that from also doing the raid, or can you also get it from elsewhere?
You can get it from past raids.
Was
So
it-
like Deepstone Crypt.
Oh,
What happens
okay.
is when you first beat a boss, you get an actual reward, a piece of gear, a weapon. But the next time you beat that boss, instead of getting nothing, they give you 5 spoils of conquest. So each subsequent run on that boss does give you 5 spoils instead of nothing at all.
Okay.
So they can fought him like 40 times. And
Sounds
I
like
fought him
Destiny.
once left. Yep. So I was like, I'm at 238. I need 2 more. I'm like, you know what? I hopped on real quick yesterday for a couple minutes, fight him quick because we literally can melt him. Takes like with the right team who knows what they're doing. It's like a 3-minute fight. So beat him. He dropped the spoils. It won't let me pick him up. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why can't I pick him up? Now the weapon costs 240 spoils. I have 238. So apparently the max you can hold is 240, and it won't let you pick up that 5 because
Oh no, it's a 5
so
stack.
I had to delete
Oh my god, that
3 of them
sucks.
just to pick up 5 of them. Are you serious?
Wow,
So
that sucks.
yeah, so I'm like, oh my god. So I got the weapon. I had enough to go get the weapon. I went and bought it, and man, is the weapon amazing. It's an arc or an electric for anybody not familiar with it. Grenade launcher that you shoot, and it makes these pylons between each other and just like zaps everything that passes through it or that's caught in it. Reason that's important is because you can put that out. It keeps going while you switch to another weapon, so you continuously doing DPS while the DLT is just eating away at them. And this season has a perk called Breach and Clear, where anything hit by a grenade launcher takes like 30% more damage, and they get a debuff.
Like just
And
across the whole season? Like just
just across the whole season. So every season has specific um mods that you can unlock for the seasonal artifact. So right now, that's one of the best mods
Also,
for this season.
that's something that like it's offered during the season, and it's something you can basically earn and
Unlock.
equip. Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
So that's all I've been playing. Didn't really get to play anything else.
I mean, weren't you running around in the Knockout Kings with Blue and them?
Oh, we did do that on Friday. See, when you say play, I always think of stuff that I kind of just I put some time into. This
Okay.
we played Knockout Kings. It wasn't bad. It was actually pretty fun. It does remind me of aesthetically. It looks like what's that Ninjala or whatever it is.
Yes, it does look a lot like that Ninjala game.
But the
Legos?
mechanics,
No,
um,
no, that's Ninjago is the Lego.
Oh.
No, I can see where you would mix that up because they're like stupid similar and they're like dumb sounding, both of them.
right? That's too funny. The mechanics are on the surface they look pretty shallow, but there's like a higher form of play where obviously it's like dodgeball. Somebody throws the ball at you, you can time it to where you can catch it. Now, depending on how good you catch it, so there's the timing. So if you catch it just tiny bit too early, you'll get a good catch. If you catch it like right before it hits you, you'll get an excellent catch. And what that does is it gives your ball when you get ready to throw it back a higher charge. So your teammates can roll up into balls. You can throw them at each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of like deep mechanics and
Yeah.
like there's like a surface level like you're saying, and then it's like,
hmm
oh, when you get good, there's little
hmm
tips and tricks. Like Ash is in the chat talking trash right now to Jeff. He says Jeff's scared to see me in Knockout City because unlike
I didn't
Smash, I'm
challenge
actually
Ash.
talented.
I didn't challenge Ash and Smash and Pokemon. He just never show up. I challenged him to Smash now. He ain't been around for like the last 3 weeks since I challenged him.
But no, like Ash was the one who was trying to let me know when I played with him a little while ago on his stream. I'm like, oh, if you pass a ball back and forth like between your own
Yep.
teammates, it kind of gives it the next level of charge. So like you can like throw back and forth between a teammate and then like launch it at the enemy or whatever. And like you can, like I was at first a little upset because there's not like a bunch of movement options. Like there's a double jump, there's like a spin, and there's a dash. But all of those serve the purpose of like attacking rather than like avoiding for the most part. Like you can dash through an attack, which is awesome. But
hmm
your double jump actually serves as a way to arc the ball upwards, and your spin, as opposed to like some kind of a dodge or evade, serves as a way to arc the ball sideways. So it's just ways to mix up the throw, and like the charge level also mixes up the speed in which it comes. So you can fake somebody out by having them thinking it's coming real fast, and then you like throw it real slow. And like,
And you can punt fake. So
oh, I didn't even know you could do that. So like, that's
yeah, you can
dope.
punt fake. Yep. And then you could tackle people, which is pretty cool. So like what we would do is you charge your teammate up, they go in the air and they do like that nuclear blast. You
Hmm.
start like tackling people in the area where they're going to land so that doesn't give them enough time to run away. Because as soon as they see somebody goes up, they're like, "Oh, spread out, let's break apart." You start tackling them to kind of scuffle them so that way they get caught by that big blast. Because that big blast is like a one hit KO for whoever gets hit by it.
Right. So yeah, that game's actually really fun. Like it had a 10-day free trial, right? And it's crossplay across like all the platforms. I don't know if Sony's included in that, but we'll. But when it's done with its 10-day free trial, I believe it's like $20. For that price, after experiencing it yourself and seeing that there is depth there, is that something you think that you would still like pay for?
$10 isn't bad, honestly.
Okay.
Now, I didn't see how much is there, but the customization was, I would say, like C tier. There wasn't a lot of customization, but whatever. That's stuff they could add later.
Hmm.
Um, the modes were seemed okay. I could kind of see them adding a little bit of some more maps or something, maybe along the lines. I don't know if it's going to be something that they continuously update, but $10 definitely wasn't bad at all. As opposed, some games for the same level of content, people want like
Wait,
60
was it
bucks.
10 or was it 20?
Oh, I thought you said 10.
Hold on, let me actually double check because I don't. It could be.
Because then
Good
now
news.
I feel like it's not my fault because you just gave me false information. So
No, it's 20. It's $20.
okay. $20, yeah, $20 isn't bad. 20
Okay,
bucks isn't bad.
so that's still in your wheelhouse. Okay.
Yeah. But it was on Game Pass. I don't know if that's a limited trial or what.
If it's on Game Pass, I'm in there.
It's on Game Pass. Because
But
that's where I saw it. Because remember, we originally thought it was going to be PC only for
right,
Game Pass.
okay.
But then I think it showed up the other day, and I was like, oh, I was about to stream. That's when we're going to do Rocket League. I'm like, wait, isn't that new dodgeball game out? Look like it's on Game Pass. But yeah, it's definitely on Game Pass. I would download it now before it's not on. But they never do that limited time download, so it definitely will still be on there.
Have you heard about the value of Game Pass though?
Oh, I have. There's a spokesperson that always just brings it
Don't
up.
get me started.
We'd be having to talk about, hey, you want to order some lunch? But have you heard about Game Pass and the incredible value?
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior Game Pass?
Right. Going around giving out pamphlets.
But okay, is that it in terms of games? Have you been watching anything?
I finished Castlevania season
4.
4.
Yeah.
Was really, 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 really good. Did you guys get a chance to watch that?
I did. I finished it recently as well. I was actually a little less impressed with. Like I thought it was good for sure, but I thought that every season prior was better.
No, to me, like that one fight between the one Forge Master and the one Vampire that I'm not going to mention because I don't want to spoil it. Was amazing.
No,
and I think
fight animation top tier
Yeah.
for sure. I agree 100%.
the story, I didn't expect the person at the end to be who that person was. So I was like, oh wow, because that character does play a lot in the Castlevania mythos. If you remember, is he a assist trophy in Smash Brothers, or is he just on that stage?
I don't know.
He was in a trailer. He killed Luigi.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay, I thought you were talking about somebody else, but now I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So I think it did, and also you got to understand that I'm surprised they got to finish because the creator of the series had a bunch of like sexual assault allegations against him, like 20 women. So they weren't even sure they were going to be able to finish it. Yeah. But I'm hoping that they kind of just disconnected him from the project because he doesn't own Castlevania. Konami owns the rights to Castlevania. He just was the creator of the series.
He was just a showrunner, I guess.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he had like a ton of like sexual abuse allegations against him. Like,
I had not even heard of that.
I saw it when I was looking at an article for Castlevania. It's like if it was upcoming, and they were worried that they weren't going to get to do a 4th season. That it was a good season after they saw it. They reviewed it very well. It didn't feel rushed, even with everything that was going on. I'm like, wait, what's going on? And I went and looked it up, and yeah.
Wow. Well, that's kind of a down note to hit on that.
So apparently
really
he wasn't
impressive series.
He wasn't part of the rest of, I think, like season 4 at all. So
okay. Well, was that it then for your playing and watching?
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say
okay.
That's all I got.
Did you want to go next, Jesse? Or
Sure. And if you think of something else, you can't bring it up now. Sorry,
time has passed.
Yeah, that's it's forever hold your peace moment. So
Hey, one more thing.
I started watching. This is totally unrelated to nerdy things, but a friend recommended it, and then actually my mother-in-law was watching it, and I was like, "What's this? This seems fun." And I started watching it. Then Devin and I started watching it. Kim's Convenience.
Oh, that's the show that the guy who's playing Shang-Chi was originally from. Like, he kind of broke out by being on that show.
Oh, okay.
Simu Liu, I think his name is. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
I didn't know that.
See, thank you.
It is hilarious.
Yeah, I've been needing to check that out.
Man, I don't think we're even through the first season yet, but like, man, it's a wonderful show. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's really funny, and like it has a lot of like actual fun, like heartwarming kind of family stuff, without being like really corny. Like everything is weird and messy and funny, but that's kind of the charm to it.
Right. Okay.
So I like it.
Nice.
I haven't watched Haiku yet. Lampy. I saw it on Netflix when we were looking for something to watch. We were looking through movies and it was on there. I was like, that's that show Casey's always on about.
Like I'll admit, like just looking at the cover and it's like, I can wait. Like, I get that it gives off that vibe, but like, watch it. Like, just watch it. Just take the plunge. You will not regret it.
Good to know. It is only 2 seasons, it looks like. So that's
Well, on Netflix, yeah. There's like
oh
3
no
more on Crunchyroll,
Oh no! Okay,
or at least 2
well,
more. And there's like a side movie thing as well. All of it's good.
Oh man, God, that's a lot of time.
It's like,
But yeah, Kim's Convenience is really fun. Recommend it so far. My partner has been watching Castlevania. I've managed to catch a few episodes as she's been binging it. So I've seen like an episode in like 1 or 2 episodes in each season of 2, 3, and 4. And amazingly, really captivating despite I don't really know what's going on. Like I'm not sure, but every time I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to watch this. What's happening? Who's this person? Don't know. Want to keep watching. So now I have to watch that on my own time, because that seems really good.
It's a good watch.
Yeah, and she really likes it, and likes season 4 so far too.
Oh, good.
I don't think she's finished it yet. We started playing Mortal Kombat 11 through the story mode.
Mm-hmm.
It is so much better than the movie. It's the story mode on a fighting game. And it is infinitely better than that movie.
It is better than the movie. Like,
It's
I agree.
a good story. It is fun. It is engaging. It is wacky in all the right ways.
Yeah, like NetherRealm has always understood how beloved their characters are, and also how stupid their universe is. Like they
Yeah.
100% get that.
Totally. And like it's a beautiful balance of all those things. Of like overindulgent gore and like ridiculous let's spell everything with a K and put cyber and stuff to make it sound cool. So
It's great. Yeah, I love
it's
Mortal Kombat.
wonderful.
Yeah, that one had a really good story. That one in 10 had some pretty good.
See, and I've never been into Mortal Kombat, and like they're referencing stuff that's happened before that I had no idea about. Now it's like, okay, if this is this good, maybe I should go back and play 10.
Yeah, like
What
9.
Casey does. Casey usually just brings up the video, watches the whole story,
Yeah,
and then
'cause-
then he decides if he wants to get to.
Because I just knew I wouldn't have time to play the actual game, so I just watched the story because I love those characters. But yeah, like 9, 10, and 11 are a trilogy that plays on the story of like the first 3 Mortal Kombat games, like Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3.
Oh
Like,
wow, I didn't know that.
It remixes all the stuff that you already knew about it. So like that's partly why I guess it was so good, because like it recontextualized stuff, like it made older stuff make more sense, and it also like retcon stuff to make it a little bit more, I guess, palatable for like today, I suppose. There were some retcons that I think people didn't like the stuff with Sindel. People were not happy with, but that all came later. That's like DLC story stuff.
See, you say redo all that stuff that we already know. I know none of that.
No, it is stuff, and you're still enjoying it, which is good.
Yeah, I am.
A testament.
Because I never played the older games. I just knew that they were that parents in the '90s hated it, and that was about all I knew of Mortal Kombat. So, but man, yeah, it's good. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, the fighting is fun too, but the story is really selling me.
How much do you know or care about like DC comics?
Man,
Is that
on
a
a
question?
what's a good scale to use for that? What's a
Either 9 or 10. So either you care or you super care. There's like the 9 or 10 scale.
Okay, so on the 9 or 10 scale, I would have to be probably about a 4.
No, I
Which
asked
is-
because there are other fighting game franchises, the Injustice series, which
It's a really good story.
yes, it actually has a really good, just like Mortal Kombat, has a really good ass story with the DC character. So even if you don't care,
Or-
I think you might.
Or
actually
wait till
find
the
it pretty
anime
interesting.
comes out. They're making an animated movie
Yeah,
for it.
they're turning that
Oh, wow.
story into an animated thing now.
That's cool. I already
'Cause that's how
own. I
good
think
it
I
was.
own the first Injustice. I bought it when it was like $5, and I don't think I played it. So
Well, the story mode in that is better than the second one. So just
Okay.
just know that.
All right,
at
well,
least. So you have the right
good to
one.
know. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I honestly don't care about these. DC and Marvel because I feel like if I say I don't like DC, people will assume that I like Marvel, but I don't. Um,
I don't like it.
Yeah, but there are specific things like the Harley Quinn show on HBO that's
Right.
brilliant. Legends of Tomorrow I really enjoy. So there are like isolated things that I enjoy,
Mm.
but I feel like as a whole, it's not good. So I have to wait for someone to really sell me on one specific thing before I agree to be like, okay,
Makes sense.
yeah. So that's how I feel about it.
If you ever have time, check out Titans on what's on
I
HBO Max.
Yeah, I have to get HBO Max again to watch that because that I was interested in that in Doom Patrol. I
Yes,
have heard
Doom
good
Patrol
things
was
about
pretty
both of
good.
those.
Had a very it was funny, but with a more serious tone. But it was really good. Some different type of characters. Um, Definitely check that out if you can.
Yeah, I want to. I'm not sure when I'll be able to. Uh, and I'll throw this out there because I did a review of it on Escapist. I got to play Strangeland, the point and click adventure that just came out.
Ooh,
Right, yeah, I watched that. That looked really creepy.
It is. It is very creepy. It's weird and disturbing, and I really enjoyed it.
I think I just saw that on Game Pass too.
See, there's that value.
Keeps creeping up.
That value you hear so much about.
Like it was literally when my Xbox Companion app uploaded today. It was like on the home screen. I don't think I'm going crazy.
All right, so does that wrap things up for you, Jesse?
Sure. Oh yeah, and I finished Omicron.
Oh, right, yeah. That that game is going to be your next behind schedule, right? Like, is that
Well,
decided?
The next one will be Fallout, which
Right,
still
right,
isn't
right.
out yet, even though the video's done. And then the one after that will be Omicron.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I can't wait for that because that game was like real crazy looking.
So bizarre. And I mean, all like spoilers, I did enjoy it. But like the last probably 3 or 4 hours of that game was like they finished it in a week. Like every part of that last section was rushed, didn't feel satisfying, pacing fell, and the final boss fight, as I forget who put it in the chat, was a wet fart.
Oh wow.
Huh.
Like, but everything up to that, pretty good. Well, pretty enjoyable. Good is not technically a word I would use to describe that game, but enjoyable is.
Honey Money wants to bring up, the fashion
The fashion is glorious.
and also that it made you swear, which I
It
don't think I've
did.
heard you swear.
I try not to do it too much, but boy, howdy. Oh, man.
Yeah, like that.
Someone clipped it, too. It was great.
Awesome. Okay. I've been playing kind of the usual stuff. I also completed a review recently for The Wild at Heart. It's basically a Pikmin like. That's also on Game Pass, so you can check that out if you subscribe to that service. And it's really fun. It's like a mashup of Pikmin and like The Legend of Zelda in the way like you run around, complete puzzles and just explore the world. And its story is, it's not revolutionary. It tries to be like, oh, these young kids are going through something serious, but then magical adventure ensues, which is also serious, but it helps them come to terms with their actual serious problem in a way that a lot of cartoons today, which I'll get into later, like tend to do very well. This doesn't do it as well, but I still appreciated them trying to do that because it wasn't bad. It was just not as good as other places I've seen it. Right. So overall, like I really enjoyed it. The world is great. The characters are great. And the gameplay was really fun. So that's my shorter review because I did a review in 3 minutes. So that's even shorter than that. But, yeah, I also played a little bit of Knockout City, which I talked about when Jeff brought it up. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I don't think I've been spending too much time playing anything really new. But I have been watching a bunch of cartoons recently. Infinity Train, I've been binging hard. Like
It's Infinity Train.
Infinity Train is a Cartoon Network show, but I've been binging it on HBO Max. And it is incredible. If you guys have watched Adventure Time and you remember the episode where Finn gets lost on literally an infinity train, I feel like that was like a big inspiration for this show, even though they have nothing to do with each other. But like it's sort of like the main character, at least in season 1, is a girl whose parents just divorced. She's having a rough go of it because she's adjusting to that, and she's, very moody. She's a teenager. And so she runs away from home because something came up. The parents got their schedules mixed, and she can't go to her like STEM robotics camp that she was so excited for. And so she runs away from home, decides that she's just going to make it to the camp on her own, gets lost, and winds up on this weird train where she can't escape. She has a number on her hand that ticks down or ticks up depending on how she behaves. And there's just tons of questions, tons of odd characters, tons of weird situations that she gets into while traveling from car to car on this train that doesn't end. And without spoiling anything, like, just like I was saying, like, it legitimately uses all like the fun, cutesy adorableness of like kids cartoons like Adventure Time, and then like has this really dark, really serious underpinning to the storytelling. So like there's something very dark going on, but like it's all framed happy and silly and funny.
Oh, okay.
But then like every now and then, like you'll see it rear its head, like, hey, things are serious right now. You better get your life together.
Get it together.
Yeah, so I really appreciated that. Like the first season was really good. It had a really impactful ending. And then the second season picks up with new characters, like some that you're somewhat familiar with, but they're new. Like the first character is no longer involved in entirely the same way. And it's still good.
Never mind.
So like I think what they're doing, like, it's an infinity train, and like you can kind of tell, you can tell like an infinite number of stories with people interacting with the train. So like that's kind of what they're going for, like this kind of anthology thing. And like it's really good. Like I've really been diving deep into it. Like I was watching it like here and there, but then like as I got into like the end of that first season, like I can't get enough of it. So like I'll probably be done with it all probably before the next time like we're all on a podcast together or something. But outside of that, I watched the new Zack Snyder movie, Army of the Dead. Yeah. Did you guys check that out?
What was that?
No, not yet.
I don't want to, but I'm curious to know if I should.
Well, it's not a good movie, but it's a fun movie. Like, it has fun characters, right? Like, there's like this ensemble cast, because it's kind of a heist movie, right? Like, they have this whole premise where they're trying to, steal a bunch of money from a vault, but the vault's in cordoned off, zombie-filled Las Vegas. So, like, the different people that they pick and get involved to do this task most of them are, fun characters. None of them, most of them don't like each other, so, like, there's fun banter. Some are dicks, some are, people that are likable and whatnot, and they all have different levels of relationship with each other. So, all of that was actually really good. Like, I thought it was like a fun little heist thing, but just in terms of just story structure and plot and certain characters' motivations and just some of the things characters do, like, just it's gonna rub you the wrong way because like they're dumb, the story's dumb, the situation's dumb, but it's still a good time. Like I had a good time. It's got great action, so like that is saved. Like Zack Snyder knocked that out of the park. Like when they're actually fighting zombies, it's some of the best zombie fighting stuff I've seen in a movie in a while, honestly. And it's got Dave Bautista in it. So like what's not to like? Right? Everybody loves Dave Bautista, right? He's like watered down rock.
You ever met somebody and said you like Dave Bautista and they say, hell no, I don't like no Dave Bautista? Like
no, never.
Watered down rock. Dang.
Dave
what
Bautista.
Did Dave Bautista do to you?
Right.
Nothing. I like him. But like, come on, like The Rock is like up here, right? Like we all love The Rock. The Rock is like a fantastic, marvelous human being, right? And then Dave Bautista is trying to do what The Rock does, but he's not The Rock. That's all I'm saying.
Dang, that's just cold.
Maybe says watered down rock. So sand?
Wow.
But was there anything else? I guess not. Or there's nothing I can think of. And like Jesse mentioned, once we're past this section, you can never come back.
And go back. It's too late.
You can't.
You already passed that checkpoint.
So with that, Ash says, if someone doesn't love The Rock, then I question their humanity. Same. Same. Like, you have a problem that's not The Rock if you don't like The Rock.
If you love The Rock, have you watched the new was it Young
Rock? No, I haven't seen it yet. But
you don't love The Rock, so let's just be real. Let's just
don't try to qualify my love for The Rock, because I don't love The Rock the same way you do. We can love The Rock differently but equally. But anyhow, we will move into our next topic. Borderlands 3, some of us here are fans, some of us are not. But either way, I think we can all say we're fans of crossplay, right? Borderlands is implementing it soon, except Sony says no, not in our house. We very recently heard testimony in that Apple versus Epic trial that Sony basically was the last holdout for crossplay with Fortnite, and eventually Epic had to pay Sony money in order to get it to happen. I'm assuming a similar situation may have happened here. I don't know if there's any details about that have been released, but the fact that Take-Two and Gearbox are moving forward with this on every platform but Sony seems to suggest that they may have run into a similar roadblock. So again, Sony, who is the market leader, like they are selling more consoles than anybody else. They have the most brand recognition. They're deciding that it's not worth it for them to play in that multiplayer pool with everybody else. Does this seem like a good idea for them to keep kind of being on this pillar and separating themselves out? Or, I mean, what do you guys think? Like, does this hurt them in the long run or hurt Sony consumers at all? Them continuing to basically be a holdout in this crossplay war.
I think that eventually down the line is going to hurt them. I don't see how cross-play would hurt them. And I don't think they're seeing it that way, where it actually brings money. Where if I have, because you have a PlayStation, I have an Xbox, I might be getting Borderlands 3. You're like, what, I'm not going to get it since we can't play together. Mm-hmm. So I'm just not going to get that game. But then like, oh, they got cross-play. Oh, yeah, I'm going to grab that now because now we can play together. And what are you going to get it on? On your PlayStation. So it's not taking away money because it's actually bringing money. It's having people get games they otherwise wouldn't get because they can't play with the people they otherwise would play with. So I think their stance with being so stingy with the crossplay, I think in the long run is going to hurt them, especially if they don't keep up with these first-party hitters. Like these first-party hitters start missing, they're going to be in trouble because they're not being very third-party friendly where you buy this and play anywhere type situation.
That sounds like somebody else who's also kind of stingy at times. Now I'm thinking about it.
Right. Now, because Destiny's is doing a cross-play beta this week.
Oh.
But it's only with PC.
Ah.
So that's another thing.
So Xbox and PC is what you're saying.
Yep.
And Sony again is not involved.
Yep.
Man. Or Nintendo. Even though I don't even know.
There's no Destiny.
Yeah, it's true. Is Borderlands 3 on Switch?
I think it is. I think they did do a Switch port, didn't they?
I'm not sure. I know that they did a port of like the collection onto Switch, but I'm not sure if Borderlands 3 made it to Switch.
Yeah, I'm looking this up.
While you're doing that, Ash says it's dumb that Sony as the market leader is that afraid of crossplay. If everyone else is doing it and it becomes industry standard and people expect it, then it'll end up hurting.
Oh, sorry, I was incorrect. It is actually PlayStation is actually involved in this. It's PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Stadia, so it is fully cross. So
Stadia.
I wonder if they did have to give them some cash to kind of get this going.
Right, yeah. Every time you hear that Sony is allowing it this place and not allowing it that place, you have to wonder now, did they have to cave into whatever deal Sony makes you? Because what the deal is, if you don't remember, is if they have a user who's on both platforms and they spend any currency in that store on the other platform and not Sony's platform, where Sony would normally get a cut of that money, the publisher or developer, whoever is in charge of that, has to pay Sony that difference. So Sony does not end up losing any money because
Apple case is going to come into play with this too, because it's kind of the same thing where they wanted players to spend money in the Apple store so that way they would get a cut of that currency. And then Epic circumvented that by having them buy it specifically from the Epic store in the game. So that I think that's kind of almost the same scenario where Sony's trying to say, well, if they do that, we still want our money.
But like, because honestly, I'm kind of clueless on this, other than Sony being paid for their trouble, essentially. Like, is this a good idea? Like, in what way is this like good for Sony? Like that's what I'm wondering. Like
I mean,
any theories?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was asking you guys.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to interrupt you. I thought you were done. Um, I I feel like nobody is buying a PlayStation, especially a PlayStation 5, uh, so they can play Borderlands 3 on it, a 2019 game. Like that the hype train for that is over. If, you know, I do like crossplay. I think that's helpful, because I want to just play with everybody who cares what we're on.
Mm-hmm.
But from a technical standpoint, I'm not a coder, but I understand that even doing something like that is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It's going to cost them money. And if it's freaking 2019 game that no one's going to buy your system to do, and no one's not going to buy your system to do, like, oh, I can't play Borderlands 3 with you, guess I'll get an Xbox X1. I forget what the latest one is called, but the Xbox. It's like, okay, are they really going to lose business about it? I do agree with what you're saying that, like, in the long term, if this does become industry standard, then that could end up hurting them because if enough games do it, people will start migrating to other systems, and then they'll be playing catch up.
Mm.
But if it's not, and Nintendo also holds strong, then it's pretty much Xbox and PC, which are already kind of the same thing because you got Windows and Xbox,
Right.
and then Stadia, and if that survives, which is also still PC. I mean, like, not to say on like a coding wise, like, oh, it's just the same as PC, but like from the public perspective,
Right.
it's a PC.
Yeah, you would.
Well,
yeah, the way they use it now, sure, yeah.
So like more would have to happen for it to become an industry standard, and so that might hurt them, or it might not. If them and Nintendo hold out, then it's pretty much just the Xbox PC side.
That is a good point. Like, it is Xbox that's pushing this harder than anybody else, and
Right.
Nintendo, like Sony, which I think Sony is emulating Nintendo. Like Nintendo gets away with a lot in terms of like being stingy and not playing nice with others, and Sony I think is trying to chase that level of esteem where they can get away with murder.
Well, let's be honest here. I mean, when I think about crossplay, I don't even think about the Switch. If I'm being honest with you, like I don't even consider that as. I think that's like not fully crossplay. It's like halfway over the bridge play. Like I don't think that's you completely crossed all the way over because I don't think the quality experience between the two, like let's say Xbox and the Switch, is just there. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that Switch player is definitely gonna be at a disadvantage. Like they have Apex on there now, right? I just don't see that working well
Well, I
because
mean,
a lot of
it would
times,
depend on the game in that case, then, right?
almost every game that's has to go to the Switch that's been a port over had the graphics have to be degraded.
That's true.
There's some camera issues with certain things, like The Witcher I saw. It just to me, I don't see Nintendo. I don't think of Nintendo when I think about crossplay. I don't say, oh, you know what? I wish I could play with my friend on the Switch. My friend, if he has a Switch, he probably has a main console as well. I feel like most adolescent have just a Switch.
But I think you're kind of underestimating how big that younger audience is, because Minecraft, one of the biggest games in the world, is crossplay on Switch, and that works great. Like the Switch can run that perfectly fine.
Absolutely. Yes.
Fortnite is a similar situation. Kids love that. Works perfectly great on the Switch. Same thing with Rocket League. Like
Those games are exceptional. Well, Rocket League and Minecraft, because they're not graphically amazing.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the fact that because the Switch is kind of living in its own ecosystem and whatnot. But they still command a ton of the market. Like it's like Sony's first and Nintendo second. Like not Microsoft. Like they're selling the least. So if your game is gonna be crossplay, then you would want to hit all those platforms. And if the 2 or 3 biggest games in the world are on the second most used platform and can play with the other ones, I feel like that matters. Like you can't really discount the Switch as being a crossplay powerhouse because otherwise they wouldn't have done it, right?
Absolutely.
But
well,
like,
I don't know.
I mean,
I
it functions.
discount them. Yeah, I still discount them, but I'm not. what you're saying isn't going to change how I feel.
Right.
I want to be very close minded in this decision. But anyway, I I do agree with Jesse's point about it being an older game, like Ash said. But people probably already own this game, and it just opens up another window. I think it would work into Epics. It would kind of help reinvigorate the game. Oh, it's crossplay now. I want to go back and play it now because now I can go and play with other people. So I don't see where, unfortunately, either system benefits from it mostly now because it is an older game. And if they are going to buy it, they can get it for like $20 or something. It's not super expensive anymore.
But I'm assuming there is stuff to buy in Borderlands, right? Like you can like spend money on like cosmetics or no?
They usually give you you can earn the cosmetics from if I'm not mistaken.
So there isn't like an in-game store.
Not that I remember.
Because that in that case, I would wonder why even bother to block them. Because like if people are playing it on, well, let's go to Lampy's question because he actually puts up a case for like why PlayStation would want to prefer to do this. Lampy says, from a business point of view, I can see their point. Their ecosystem is the reason those customers that Take-Two want access to exist, and they want to make sure there's a level of quality. For example, all the hacking that happens in games on PC, just look at Fall Guys, it degrades the experience of people playing on PlayStation. Now that is a good point. Like if Sony is saying like people can't hack the games when they play multiplayer because they're all part of the PlayStation ecosystem, but then we open up crossplay and then you got hackers on PC, hackers on Xbox or Switch or wherever else, then that makes the overall ecosystem less fun to play for PlayStation, who would have been sanctioned off by themselves, right? That's a good point. But then what if that audience isn't there is kind of what I'm worried about. Like Destruction All-Stars, that kind of that car derby, Destruction Derby game. You guys remember that, right? It was free for PlayStation Plus. It's a PlayStation 5 game. I just saw a story saying that they're adding bots to that game because there aren't enough players.
Oh, wow.
So that's a Sony exclusive, which means it was never going to be crossplay. And it's a game that they gave away for free. So that's everybody who has a PlayStation 5 and is in Sony's ecosystem, whereas they pay for PlayStation Plus, has access to that game and are choosing not to play it. They don't have enough people to play that game in just their ecosystem. So that's a game that will die. Like, if it wasn't exclusive, if it was crossplay, you're opening up that game to actually thrive. And if there's a store, then people can spend money in the store. But who's going to spend money on a store that's in a dead game?
Right.
Yeah, but is it going to be, at that point, at this point, is it worth it? So, look, because I actually hadn't heard of Destruction All-Stars, so now I'm looking it up, which looks like it's got some mixed reviews, like 62 on Metacritic. So at that point, having it be exclusive is, see if it is successful, and if it's not, or is it worth the money investing in everything they need to make it crossplay? Is that really going to reinvigorate or possibly start invigorating the community if people look at it and go, well, this didn't really do well when it released on another system. I don't really care about it. So,
well, because the same thing could be said about why they were so reluctant to do it with Fortnite then. Fortnite's one of the biggest things ever, and they were reluctant to do it.
They were still cagey about it. And
they just had to give them money. Yeah. Had to get them
and
money
they knew
right out.
And they knew Epic could pay.
Right. It's like, oh, they got money? Yeah, we can throw a number at them. Lampy said they have golden keys for sale. Like, who pays for those? Like, they always just give those away for free. Like, if you just check the Twitter, it's just like...
But, I mean, that's why those stores exist, because people be paying for that shit.
But, like, and even the keys are only for, like the beginning of the game. Like, once you get to, like, in-game, like, nothing you get out of those chests is going to be as good as anything you can find from bosses or anything like that anyway. I think I had, like, 100 golden keys or something last time I played. But... That'd be on the charge.
It also might be something that I didn't finish reading Lampy's comment, but it made me think of another thing where games like that with in-game purchases, that's the main draw for the game, like sell it cheap and then a bunch of in-game purchases, might go against what Sony wants for its PlayStation like marketability, where they want you to play a game, enjoy it, and then buy another freaking game for the system,
As
rather
opposed
than
to like a live
pumping.
service thing.
Right. You go on PlayStation Store, you see what's on sale. You snag something when it comes out uh at some physical store that sells games, whatever, wherever those might be. Those mom and pop shops. Uh like they want, and so a lot of this stuff that's coming out that's built to stay isolated doesn't help them or their goals.
And they could be saying that our players don't care about playing with other people. So why are we gonna? Why are we interested in it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I've always thought that PlayStation players
Yeah.
preferred to play alone as well. So you might be on to something.
They're on there with their top hats and monocles and
Mhm.
sipping their tea, like, we are above this rabble.
Like multiplayer game. Oh no.
Mm. Multiplayer game with the with some cheap toaster PC. Mm.
Like give me another 100-hour JRPG, thank you.
Just replay Persona 5.
Oh man. So that's what we think of PlayStation players. No, I mean any other lingering thoughts on this topic? You guys made some good points for why Sony, is not necessarily hurting themselves or shooting themselves in the foot for keeping up this. It does hurt consumers. I'll still cop to that. But for Sony as a company, yeah, they don't really get too much out of it based on what you guys are saying. I can agree with that.
Yeah. They're making bank doing what they're doing. If this ain't gonna make them enough bank, they ain't gonna sweat it.
No.
That's my thought. I mean, I don't run Sony.
Ash says, as a PlayStation player, I take offense. And Fast Act says, the only reason I got a PS5 was Genshin Impact. But Genshin Impact was on PS4
It probably looks amazing
and on
PS.
PC.
It probably looks like virtual reality.
And
on
it's on
PS5.
mobile. You didn't need a PS5 for Genshin Impact. That's all I'm saying, Fast Axe. But we'll move on to our final topic of the day. Amazon, we all know them as the biggest company on the freaking planet, has just bought a storied motion picture house, MGM, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, I think is the full name, right? And in doing so, they now have access to basically their entire film catalog, right? Speculation says that they're going to be implementing all these movies or these franchises and whatnot into Amazon Prime. So either it'll act as a way to bolster their back catalog of just stuff you can go in there and watch. And also they'll kind of have the right to make new stuff for Amazon Prime based on MGM properties. The biggest of which is Bond.
Yes, I would love to see a James Bond series. That would be amazing. Like kind of like the Jack Ryan series they have going on. Oh man.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'd be worried that they'd oversaturate with kind of a running thing of Bond, but it could definitely be really good. But
Right.
I'm just a fan of like the movies and how they've done the movies the same way like they've done like Batman, for example, where like, oh, every so often there's like an arc with this Bond, and then that's done, and now we reinvent Bond again. Check out this new Bond and this arc of Bond stories, right? Like I'm a
Right.
fan of that.
Well, this could be like this doesn't have to follow any specific Bond. It could just be in the Bond universe or something like that. Or it could follow like a 006 or something. There's a multiple things that can just go on. Kind of like they did with Jack Ryan. There's been a bunch of Jack Ryan movies, but this show kind of does like a different angle on it and whatnot.
Honestly, I think what that show is doing is trying to make a cinematic universe because the
Oh yeah,
the
the
Without
Without
Remorse
Remorse?
movie is
Yeah.
within that Tom Clancy universe. Like they're
Yeah,
characters
we
who are
talk about-
related and know each other
Yeah.
in those two properties. So
No,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jesse.
Oh, Lampy brought this up, and I think I heard it too, and I was trying to do a little bit of quick research. They don't own the full rights to Bond. If I'm looking it up, I believe it's also, what is it, Columbia Pictures might be the other one. But they don't, I think they don't own the full rights. I don't know how freaking rights work when you slice them up between,
Yeah, like there's a lot of gray area.
right? but that is still leverage that they could use if they wanted to make a Bond series or something.
Yeah,
Or,
even
you know,
if they
Bond
own,
movies.
if they own some of the rights and not exclusive rights, they would still have some say, I would imagine. And Amazon, what we know they do have is a lot of money, and that's probably all it would take to get the rest of the permissions needed, right? Is to pay somebody some money.
We don't know how many parts it's broken down to. They could have majority stake. They could that 25% could be divided up into like 6 other entities where they might 25% might be the majority stake. Who knows?
Agreed. But I mean, Bond isn't the only series that they could possibly have a connection to, or can.
No.
I was going through the list because MGM is an old film company, right? Like they have movies that date back to like the 20s and the 30s and stuff. I'm not sure if they'll be trying to resurrect anything out of that era. They might, but I personally am not familiar or fans of any 1920s or 30s movies. But the stuff in like the 90s and 2000s, I think we'll probably see a lot of because we already were. For example, like Rocky/Creed. Like that's under their belt. They could be making TV shows or streaming shows or movies and stuff that are Amazon exclusive or Amazon produced.
RoboCop, they got RoboCop.
Oh, RoboCop's in there? I didn't know that.
Sorry, I need to take a few steps back. Was that pun intended? Because it was good.
Wait, I didn't even realize if there was a pun.
You said they had Rocky under the belt.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't even. I didn't peep that.
Dang, that was.
Wow,
Oh,
that
man.
was a
that was
Darren
good
level
word
pun,
play.
and I didn't even see it. The Addams Family,
Okay, I'm sorry,
I think,
continue.
is under that umbrella, which we already see like there's stuff coming, in that universe like prior to this deal. So maybe that stuff will change. There's supposed to be like a Wednesday Addams series coming.
I did see that.
That's gonna have some good Hot Topic cross promotion.
Child's Play and Showgirls, 2 well-known horror franchises. Well, I've never seen Showgirls. I don't know if that's actually a horror movie.
I'm curious. Do they own the rights to Child's Play or do they own the rights to Chucky? Because I believe those have been broken up.
Have they?
Yeah, because I think the person, if I remember it correctly, the person who like made, I mean it's more than one person, but like the people behind the original Child's Play films got the rights to Chucky, and that's why the newer movies say like Seed of Chucky, Bride of Chucky, Cult of Chucky.
Yeah.
And then the remake of Child's Play was also the toy was renamed Buddy. And they're 2 separate entities.
Oh.
So I'm actually curious which one they have.
Oh wow.
Well, the one that I found on the list of MGM properties was Child's Play and not Chucky. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming it might be the original that they have the rights to. But they also have Silence of the Lambs. So that's all the Hannibal Lecter stuff, like all that whole series, which was also recently a TV show that apparently was really well received. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which is a good book series. I think okay movie when that came out however long ago. Also, yeah, what you got?
MGM has spent the last 20 years selling most of their rights.
Oh, so they've been selling a lot. Okay.
Probably trying to float you like, no, we sell a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That'll buy us a little bit more time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe they were kind of desperate for a buyout, and Amazon kind of swooped in to the rescue. It's like, oh, this is like a mutually helpful situation.
Amazon just needs to finish up the Lord of the Rings series. You know, like
Yeah,
let's
that's
get
still not out yet.
They killed the game they had. They were coming out with an MMO. They killed that game.
Lampy says Amazon paid $9 billion to not own Bond.
So you tell me Bond's not included? Well, you get there's a piece in. I mean, like, do we have any of it? You get a piece.
You got the rights to James.
Yes, not
But not one. So that's gonna be that'll be their Amazon series. It'll be like James,
You
and they
get
just
1 O.
refer to him as James.
You
I don't
get
know,
the
like,
first name and 1 O. You don't get both.
And 1 O, you don't get both. You don't get the double O.
No.
I don't know, for the amount of money that they paid for this library, they must think that there's something in there that they can use, right? Like even if it's not Bond, which if Lampy's correct and it's being misreported that Bond is solely owned and like they now control it, if that's being misreported, like there must be something that Amazon wants to pay this much money, or is $9 billion just not enough money for Amazon to really care that much about? Because that's also a possibility, right? Like maybe this wasn't supposed to be like a big get, but it was just a get. Like, hey, we need some stuff to fill out Amazon Prime. We're kind of lacking. Who's on sale? MGM. All right, just grab them. Grab those guys. How much is it? 9 mil. Okay, we can do that.
Should we check anything out? No, just buy it, man. It's chump change. We got that.
Yeah.
It's in the disposable income fund. Just grab that out there.
Yeah, just dig in the couch.
Oh, that hurts.
Dig in the Amazon couch. $9 billion quarters. We'll just hand over.
We got that. That's fine. I
So, yeah,
found
that's a
that
definite
in
possibility.
my jacket from last winter. It's cool. We got that covered. I think there are a few possible things that are could actually help them out as a media oligarch. I don't know, whatever they'll be. Because I do think that library will help pad their numbers for Amazon Prime. So you can be like, hey, check out, why get Netflix? Amazon Prime has this many million things to watch. It doesn't matter that's the freaking Ben-Hur remake or, stuff you don't care about.
Half
It's
of that
just
stuff,
that
it
number.
doesn't matter if it's good. It's just, it's there.
Right.
So it'll find its audiences.
Yeah, so they can use that to cycle through and add stuff for essentially free to pad out their library, and not even add it all at once, just cycle through things to be like, this is on for a while, create false scarcity, have it removed. And then, I really wanted to watch the Ben-Hur remake. Well, I can rent it on Amazon for $3. I guess I'll do that. Cool, they made money off that. It also could be for trying to get an older audience. Like, we as Amazon see it and we're like, yeah, the studio, but like my parents aren't going to look at Amazon and be like, oh yeah, the movie studio, but they'll see MGM and be like, oh yeah, that's a movie studio.
Yeah, I remember that lion roaring at me.
Right. It's a Tom and Jerry lion or whatever.
Is that Lion Gate Studio?
So I think that also might be part of it. There might also be things for like the networking that MGM has in its structure that they can use for better distribution or whatever. And also because it's an older catalog, that they're a new studio. If they can get an older catalog, they can go after a nostalgia market. And one of the things that might want is physical media. And where are you going to buy that DVD of the original Ben-Hur?
On Amazon.com. Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot of ways they could make money off of it. Again, I don't run a business that can just throw 8 trillion or 8 billion around as nothing. Right. So what the heck do I know? But I feel like those are possibilities that could help them out on making it theoretically worth it.
Okay. Because I do think that the point has been made multiple times in the past that even if you don't have like a brand fresh new thing coming out on your streaming platform every week, that you can bide your time by having a good back catalog of things that people will want to revisit, right?
And we saw that with Disney Plus,
right. So yeah, like this might help with that because, like you said, Amazon is new. The stuff that they've mostly been putting on their service have been like new content because that's what they're paying money for people to make. So this fills out the back end a little bit with stuff that you might want to check out. Like I'll watch all the Rocky movies. Those movies are good. Like they're fine. Like I'll if I have a way to just binge all the Rockies every now and then, boom, I'm gonna do that.
I'll hold you to that. But yeah, because it takes time to pump out quality original content, especially if you want it to be good. We see it takes a while. Like a lot of these Disney originals were in the making for a bit, but that beginning stint was like very, very light. I think The Mandalorian was the only thing, and then there was nothing for a while. And you had like a movie like Timmy Failure, and then it was so stuff like that. But like it took a while for these to start trickling out. The same thing with the Star Wars movies, like the other Star Wars shows. They've been in works since, I'm guessing, before The Mandalorian ended, and we won't see those at least until I would say like maybe the end of this year, maybe early next year, maybe.
Yeah, like they're not even talking about them. Like I would guess sometime in 2022. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Any other lingering thoughts about this big deal? Any properties that weren't mentioned that you're like, oh no, I can't wait for them to remake this. Like I know Barbershop's in there. No barbershop.
I saw that too.
No barbershop and beauty shop fans. No.
I was looking through their list this morning and I was like, oh, barbershop.
Are we there yet?
Oh man. So I mean, I guess that wraps things up for today's show. A couple of announcements before we do our sign-offs. This will be the last Sigma show for a couple of weeks because June is very busy in terms of like video game happenings. So next week I'll be away for some secret assignment that I don't know if I can talk about yet, so I won't. The week after that is E3. Jesse and I will be involved in a lot of live streams and coverage for like all the E3 conferences and stuff with the rest of the Escapist team. So definitely tune in over that weekend to the Escapist channel to see us and hang out with us and stuff. And the week after that is Father's Day, so I feel like I'm owed a break.
No, I don't think you are.
So the next 3 weeks, no Sigma show. Possibly no Super Smash Sunday either. I'll play that one by ear, but probably both those shows on Sunday will be gone for the next few weeks. But we will be back at the end of June, so stay tuned. Make sure you're following the Twitter, all that stuff, to check us out in the future. Super Smash Sunday will be happening later today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, so join us for that. But Jeff, where can people find you if they're looking for you on the internet?
Oh, you can find me at SupermanJeff12 across all social media. You can check us out this Thursday, Monday and Thursday. Monday we'll be doing Monday Night Siege. Trying to set up a Destiny 2 raid. I'm not sure if that's going to work out for Monday, but Thursday I'll be back with the Omniverse comic discussion. So we'll be talking about the new Eternals trailer, some history on the Eternals, and some jazz on that. And then I'm thinking the next week we'll do another show. We usually do every other Thursday, but there's a lot of stuff I kind of want to cover before Loki comes out June 10th. So check us out the following Thursday for another episode of the Omniverse comic discussion. It'll be more paper comic discussion and trailer and speculation. So if there's anything you want to know about anything going on with Marvel Phase 4, definitely check us out.
Nice. And Jesse, how about you? Where can people find your work on the internet?
Cool. There, Rexicon Jesse on Twitter, twitch.tv/Rexicon Jesse. Reddit r/Rexicon Jesse. If it's me, it's Rexicon Jesse. I'll be streaming tomorrow on my channel from 11 to 12 and Tuesday at the same time. I'll be doing the Thursday night with my friend Blight. Thursdays 6 to 8 Eastern time. And then this Saturday, 6 days from now, I'm going to be doing the raise money to get a Switch stream.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to check. When are you doing that? I'm going to check that out.
So I'll be doing that. I'm going to start doing it at some point in the afternoon, probably around like 2, and then I'll take a break to do game night on the Escapist, and then I'll finish it up back on my channel for probably a couple more hours for fun.
Awesome.
Nice.
So I'll have a little donation thing set up so people can donate. I'm trying to get to 300 so I can get a Switch.
Nice.
So, and if there's more, cool, it'll go towards games and stuff.
Right, yeah, because you do need games after you get a Switch.
You just get the Switch and be like, I could take this anywhere. All right.
I want to play Star Citizen now.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We really appreciate it. Make sure you follow these guys on their individual channels as well as the Open Party channel, because that's where we'll be later today for Super Smash Sunday. Any other announcements? I don't know. Be safe. There's a lot going on in the world nowadays, etc.
Definitely.
But thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. Bye. See you next week. I'm sorry. See you in like 3 weeks from now.
Bye.